Pundits expect a fiery speech when United States President Donald Trump addresses a joint sitting of Congress in his much-delayed State of the Union address later on tonight.
After a forced postponement imposed by Democrat Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi during the recent government shutdown, the president is expected to speak under a broad theme of building a safe, strong and proud America, and Trump and his administration's successes that include a roaring economy. But the fight over border security and funding for his much-touted wall along the southern border is also expected to loom large.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
It will be only his second State of the Union address, an opportunity to lay out his legislative agenda and make the case for his priorities during a prime-time television event, and what this observer calls important both constitutionally and institutionally.
If I were a Trump supporter, if I was a Trump antagonist, if I was one of the weird people who don't have an opinion on Donald Trump, I would equally be interested in wondering what direction does the president want to take public policy. Now, granted, with divided government, we don't know whether he will be able to achieve those ends, but it's important to put that out there. And the power of presidential rhetoric at a State of the Union to set an agenda within the Congress is important. I think this president underestimates that.
The White House says President Trump will focus on 5 themes: a robust economy that has seen unemployment drop to record lows, fair reciprocal trade, a $1.7 trillion infrastructure plan, border security and immigration, and national security policy.
I do think he is going to speak quite a bit about border security and immigration issues, despite warnings to the president from his own party during the midterms that is not what he should be talking about. He continuously talks about it because for him, it is a central issue. It is a central value. When the president gets addicted to a set of talking points or addicted to an issue, it is very hard to break that addiction for him. And right now, he is addicted to immigration policy.
It will also be the first time President Trump and Speaker Pelosi will be in the same room since the government reopened, and after the Democratic leader outmaneuvered him politically during the standoff over funding for a border wall with Mexico.
They have to smile at each other. And then he has to give a speech in which he doesn't get to see what she's doing. And she gets to smirk the whole time from a position above him, looking down on him. Now, that is bad. Just like I don't know how much thought the White House has put into that, but that's 50 minutes of her getting to do things like this or this.
An event steeped in tradition and a president who often prefers to break with convention.
It's a very weird clash between a president who loves pomp and circumstance perhaps more than any of his predecessors, but then has in those moments an inability to use that podium, that platform, to be as effective as he can be. And so I think it's one of those weird moments where people on all sides of the political divide are just looking to the president to know what's next. What is next on domestic politics? What is next in foreign affairs?
Former Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams, who fell short in her quest to become the nation's first female black governor after the midterms last November, will deliver the Democratic response.
And while there are expectations that the president will stick to his script as it appears on the teleprompter, Mr. Trump is infamous for his unpredictability, and given the politically bruising fight he suffered at the hands of Nancy Pelosi, it would not be unreasonable to assume that he will use the opportunity of this State of the Union to regain some ascendancy, particularly as we begin conversations about the race for the White House in 2020. Shervin Bryceby's SABC News, New York.